Doing? Yeah. Let me just say for the record, Enemiga, that I recognize that this is not the best look for Mr. Cordovan. But there's a reason I'm doing that, and it's because I am supporting Movember. I will be actually before the end of the month, and I realize that's basically next week, going to be doing a short campaign drive for Movember personally on the Lotro and DDO forums, like I do. It's consider it a second chance to donate if you want to, after Extra Life. But it's something that means a lot to me, personally, especially in the realm of men's mental health, and kind of trying to change some of the conversation about how some of us dudes tend to relate to each other. So it's a kind of a cause that's important to me, which is why I grow this mustache. But here's the thing. Sorry, I'm actually... It doesn't matter to me, right? Okay. Here's the thing, though, about that. It seems like every November is when the big stuff happens to me in my life, and thus ends up being in screenshots, video thumbnails, pictures of me finally hanging out with one Mr. Ed Greenwood, for example. Anyone who's a D&D person is going to know what's up with that. That was cool. But all the photographic evidence of me actually hanging out with one Mr. Ed Greenwood, for example, include me having probably among the worst mustaches in the history of the internet. And so, which is why always afterwards, I get these things like, hey, if you're going to be a community manager, you're going to get this happen to you. It's fine, don't worry about it. Sometimes people are going to crop pictures of your face because they don't like you, and they want to express how much they dislike you. And inevitably, literally 100% of the time, it's always going to be those pictures from my Movember campaign, because, you know, let me admit, my beard is probably aesthetically better for me than not having a beard, and just a mustache in general is pretty questionable unless you can pull it off, in which congrats. I can't. But I do it anyway. Every November, live on the internet, for you and for me, to raise awareness for men's health and Movember. And I'll be doing that next week. You told me last week to send you a mail via the forums, which you have done regarding premium services. Coal Cash, I did... I know I read that. I'm surprised I didn't respond to you. I will double check. I've been very, very busy and multitasking a lot in like the last 2 to 3 weeks. And so, I remember reading it. I thought I'd responded. I guess not, right? So I'll get back to you. If I can today, we'll see. But I will try to get back to you. Sorry. And thanks for reminding me. Let me make sure I've got all the chats going. I have not yet seen Facebook chat, but clearly there must be some, right? Why am I not seeing it? Alright, watch live video. I'm gonna get an echo. Oh, here we go. What are we learning about today? We're learning about nothing yet. But I actually do have some stuff to talk about, so I can always Photoshop. Okay, here's actually a pretty interesting question, near from Facebook. Why do I not turn on admin mode when I'm gaming, especially live on the live stream? So, this is my regular play account that you're seeing here today, and that is really done deliberately. I mean, I get some advantages because I work for SSG, so I have a lot more Lotro points, probably, than you. But other than that, is a regular play account. So that's kind of a deliberate change. Sometimes I will be on my admin, especially when I get into previews. Pretty much anytime I'm on Brawler, pretty much I'm going to be on an admin account. And there are a few other times where I've been on admin accounts. I do have to be a little careful about, security and things like that when I'm typing in commands live on the air and some things like that. So I have to be kind of careful what gets exposed there. So I do try in general to just play when I'm live on video on a regular play account that wouldn't have those permissions anyway. So I don't have to worry about any of that kind of thing. So the character that you see during Court of the Rings here does not have any ability to, say, issue commands or do any kind of admin-y sort of things that a regular play character would not. So Ashakra over on YouTube mentions that, we did get... Thanks for dancing there. Anyway, I can actually try to do some things. I was on live on the air here earlier. Or not live on the air, but I was playing last night, getting past... So, I will get to your question, Ashakra, because I actually have something to say about it. But I want to get going on the gameplay here, so it's not just staring at this dwarf standing while I talk for an hour. Anyway. So I played some yesterday. Last time I played this game, you saw me run into some issues with that, War of Three Peaks instance. What I ended up doing is, per the advice again from chat, and thank you afterwards for everyone for giving me that advice, and just kind of hang back a little bit, and let Durin tank a little better. And once I did that, I was able to just kind of breeze through the rest of the instance, and so that was all good, right? But I also made a little progress. I got caught up on some of the outstanding Wells of Langflood quests that I still had in my quest journal from previous Court of the Rings, and I picked up a bunch of quests around here, and I just kind of generally putzed around for a couple hours around the area yesterday to try to get myself a little bit better situated for the live stream. And thankfully I'm here to report that I'm not repeating what you saw last time because I got past it. Alright, now for Chakra's question. What do I think about Brawler? So, the reason I'm talking about it is because it's exciting that we have been able to mention it to you this week, and the reason we were able to mention it to you this week is we had a chat with Severlin on Wednesday. Pretty sure everybody knows this, but if you have not yet seen it, it is available over on twitch.tv/LotraStream, also available on YouTube at youtube.com/Lord of the Rings. Alright, so in that, Sev talked a little bit about Brawler. So obviously you saw Brawler over... some references to Brawler, rather, text references, as it were, to Bullroar that snuck out. And that's fine. But we're not really in a position to say much about Brawler at this point. All I can really do is refer you back to Wednesday's show in terms of what I can say about the Brawler. It's something that we're looking at, and it is early. It's even possible the name could change or something, right? I mean, who knows, right? There's all sorts of things that could happen. But we'll have a lot more to say about it before too long here. So hopefully we'll have some exciting news for you on that particular class. So what do I think about it? I think that I have not actually had an opportunity to see it yet because at this point there really isn't anything to see. All right. Race tokens are close. Yes, race tokens are close. So, the main outstanding bug that I am aware of regarding the race change token the main issue right now is that you have to log out completely after consuming the race change token. Or else it causes some problems. And that's fine if everybody is able to do that, then we're just fine. But since clearly that's not something that we necessarily want to depend on, I think there's still an outstanding question about when we debut this item. Now, otherwise, the things that held us back in recent months from releasing this, those bugs got fixed. So I'm happy to at least report that we have made progress, but we still do have at least one more thing to consider, and what we're going to do with here before we were to debut this item to the masses. It cannot only be applied at the login menu. If that were the option, I think we'd probably be live with it. Unfortunately, it's like I say, it's an outstanding question. You don't really need to worry about it. That's the thing, is that these are just outstanding questions before we debut an item that has previously not existed to the game. So I know that people are anxious to get their hands on it in the Lotro store, but at the same time, we have an opportunity to make sure that we debut it on our schedule in a way that best supports the game and the community. And so that ultimately is what's going on here. And we need to make sure that we're ready to do it. And so far, we're almost there. And we've been almost there for quite some time, which is, I think, why some people have been fairly impatient with us on it. But, the reality is, once those things get sorted through, then it'll get released. However, like I said, we made a lot of progress just in the past week because we checked in and fixed a couple of the outstanding bugs that had earlier prevented us from going live with it. And so it's just a matter of polishing up these final pieces then before we go live. Druid's Fire asks about name changing with the race token. I don't believe that is something that we are going to be able to do. I don't know why. I can't remember why. But I believe that restriction will probably remain, and I think it has to do more with the tech involved in the process than sort of us deliberately wanting to gate it. But I'm not sure where we've completely landed on it. So some of this stuff, is still fairly speculative. Will Update 29 include the next expansion of Gundabad, or just a regular update? So Sev addresses that pretty comprehensively in this week's chat with Severlin that you can find on Twitch. So again, I'm going to refer you to that. In terms of what our current plan is for 2021 and beyond. I will say, however, that we said on Wednesday that Gundabad would be later in 2021. And Update 29 is next. So, yes, we will have things before Gundabad that will be in Update 29. Thank you very much for the kind words regarding that chat this week, both in terms of the admins and moderators and all that sort of thing. I think it went really well. I'm personally pretty happy with how it turned out. Of course, I could always... It's hard to watch yourself on video. It really is. And so there are moments in the interview where I'm just like, oh, why did I look like that? Why did I say that? You know, all that kind of stuff that just all of us as humans have to deal with, right? But when I actually think about everything we were able to get out in that chat in the space of an hour and things, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And hopefully, and it sounds like in general the community would agree with me on this one. So that's cool. Alright. Pretty sure that's in-game music. Yeah, I've got the game music and that up. Yeah. Any plans for female stout axe dwarves getting emote sounds? That is something that has come up several times. Internally, but we don't have anything to announce today, unfortunately. Sorry, I have nothing to really say about that at the moment. But, it's something that we have, even over the summer, if I recall, given some thought on our ability to do that in the future. So, maybe that's something that we can do someday. You're probably hearing a leaf blower that my neighbor is using. Sorry if that's picking up too loudly on the mic. Would it be possible to have monthly Q&A sessions? I think that we would all love that. I don't know that that's ever something I would want to commit to, though. I wasn't exaggerating, kind of when I started the chat with Sev on Tuesday, that part of our ability to do that kind of hour-long Q&A was because the amount of kind of work time and all that other stuff sort of aligned in order to be able to do it. I don't know that I could at all commit our executive producer to being able to do like an hour-long monthly live stream. That just doesn't... Wouldn't it be lovely, right? But I just don't think that is likely to happen. However, I'll tell you what is good. When these things go well like this, and we have good feedback, and the community was fantastic during the chat, the amount of sort of, moderation things that you just would normally have to expect to deal with did not happen, really. And everyone was absolutely lovely and interested, and I think into the idea of what we were trying to do here. And I think got into the idea with us and was willing to join us in the endeavor in a way that I think made it pretty successful, hopefully, for everybody. That stuff makes it far more likely that this stuff will happen in the future. I can tell you that. So, we'll see, right? The game music's pretty loud compared to my voice. Yes, that's correct. Sorry. Now that you bring it up, I remember I turned up my master volume yesterday. I was just sitting here playing the game and didn't have my headphones on. I just have a little kind of, I don't even know what we would want to call it, bookshelf speaker, I guess, that I use for the few times I don't want headphones on, which isn't that often. But after a while, your ears kind of, so. There we are. Anyway, I was playing Lotra last night. And, I was using the external speakers, so I had it turned up. So that's why the combat and music volume is off for this week's show. Alright. Man, that's a lot. All right. Sorry, let me try to get to chat here a little bit. I've been ignoring our chatters because I've been focusing on playing. So let me just briefly scroll through chat and see what we want to get to. Will there be any deals for the Mordor and Minas Tirith on Black Friday? I cannot pre-announce our Black Friday sales. I will say, we are having Black Friday sales. And I think that people who have stuck with us for a while and are kind of used to what the sort of things we do for Black Friday will experience a similar result this year. So, I think that's something that we'll most likely announce next... What day is today? What date is what? Yeah. Probably that'll get announced next Wednesday, the 25th. And it'll almost certainly go through Monday, November 30th. Also going through Monday, November 30th, is the Harvest Math Festival. So, if you want to get those Harvest Math tokens and what have you, go ahead and do that. Also, hey, actually, you know what? I'm sorry this is a half hour into the show. I wanted to bring this up towards the front, and I realized that I failed. And let me actually turn down the music here just a little bit, because I think it still might be a bit loud. Alright, there we go. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Let me get back to what I was going to say, which is, I have got a date for you for the Tier 5 opening time of one Amdan Damul, the Bloody Threshold, and Tier 5 of Shakalish, is that how you say it? The Stair Battle. And this will be the Tier 5 opening time. It will open on December the 10th at noon Eastern. December the 10th at noon Eastern. So that would be not next Thursday, nor the Thursday after that, but the Thursday the following. At noon Eastern. The Leading the Charge Ahead of the Curve Deeds titles will be available for both instances through January 20th. Turning off on January 21st at 3 a.m. Eastern, per usual of these kind of things. So, December 10th, T5, Threshold, Stair Battle. There you go. Alright. I do not have any information to pass along about when War of Three Peaks will be available for Lotra points. That is an active question that we will need to answer in the near future. I don't have an answer for you today, though. Sorry. Can you tell Sev I would like a War Dolphin? Yes. Not answerable at this time. Correct, Joel Hop. Who asks, will River Hobbits have any distinct feature changes? I would imagine River Hobbits would look somewhat different. It would give the art team an opportunity to do some sort of Hobbit variant, perhaps. Something like that, right? But it's way too early to even talk about that. And again, if you want to, I'll refer you back to the chat with Sev this week in terms of the timeline and plan for that. So it's towards the front. All right, let me head over to YouTube quick. All right, let me head over to Facebook. What class is my dwarf? I am a champion. I am Stampion, the Stout Axe champion. Not to be confused with Dwinstrel, the Dwarven Minstrel. There might be a naming convention I use. It's pretty bad. I don't care. Any luck getting the devs to create a cord cat pet? I think a cat pet sounds sweet. That sounds cool. We already have those as like housing items and stuff. That's good enough. Alright, I think I am actually caught up on chat. Why are carry-alls called carry-alls? Shouldn't they be carry-sums? Yes, I suppose you are correct. Carry-sums would indeed make the most sense as a terminology. But you could also say they are carry-all-of-sums. Because that's basically what they do, is they carry all of a certain kind of thing. So, I believe the short marketing term is carry-alls, because they carry all of your whatever thing you're getting a carry-all for. But you're correct that they are not technically able to carry everything. They are kind of by category rather than sort of generic. So I am, if e-commerce is listening, we should change the name to Carry Awesome. You should see his names on other games. They are even worse. This is correct. Well, so... No, that's not true. My names are awesome. It's everyone else whose names are bad. No, I don't know. For me, it just... This kind of naming convention just... It works for me. Let me put it that way. Will there be another Bull Roars? Since the next update is almost a month away. Yes, probably. Stay tuned. We are currently... Right now we're in the middle of all sorts of discussions regarding timing and that, because we do have holidays and some things, and War 3 Peaks came out, the patches came out. You know, a couple people are burning down some time off after that they had accrued while putting in a lot of hours to get, you know, War 3 Peaks out, etc., right? So some of the schedule can be a little challenging, like on the weeks around Black Friday and December. But our intention is to do another PvMP preview on Bullroar, and if we can make that happen before release, that is our intention to do. And Vastin has been on the Bullroar forums, right? That's where that's happening, not the PvMP forums, I think. Talking about some of the work that he's been doing related to the last PvMP preview that we had on Bull Roars. So, if that's a topic that matters to you, you probably already have seen his replies. But if not, go over to the forums. There are a couple there this time. It wasn't someone just quoting an image, which... Please don't do that. But that's okay. You can do that. I'm not making it against the rules. I will just judge you harshly. No, I won't. It's fine. You're just going to confuse poor little community managers the world over. Carry wholesome. Oh, that's kind of great. That's kind of great. I like it. I like it a lot. Man, that aligns with my sense of dumb. Follow the map. Follow the little arrows to victory. How are the codes for Extra Life coming along? Thank you for bringing that up. So this week I spent pretty much every night this week doing some of that redemption work. Got all the group incentives out. So if you posted the winners, so if you are one of those winners of a group incentive, you can see it on the forums, and you should have a private message from me. I have also been working to last few worm nests. I have also been working this week to get all of the individual incentives set up and ready to go for this weekend. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing a bunch of work related to getting people back all of their individual incentive rewards. So, if you've already let me know what you want, a lot of people, they're used to it at this point, so they just send me along with their donation. It's like, and here's the stuff I want from the community loot list. If you've already done that, you'll probably hear from me this weekend. Assuming I can get through to all almost 500 of you between both games to get back to. So, yes, that's kind of a lot. Oh, here's one. Or is that? Nope, I already did that one. Kind of a lot. And that's something I'm working on, but I will be working on it throughout the day here. Tonight, and pretty much my current plan, at least, is most of the day tomorrow. I don't have too much else going on that I'm aware of, other than I'm considering doing like a Movember live stream, either on my personal channel or maybe even the official Lotro and DDOs sometime either this weekend or next week. Probably next week, I guess. But that is going to be happening this weekend, so if everything works out, I should be able to pretty much get everyone all at least started on getting all their stuff by the end of the weekend here. So that's pretty cool. And that is where I currently sit on Extra Life. And then my plan is, as soon as I get all that initial Extra Life giveaway and what have you stuff out the door, then I intend to switch on over to doing a little bit of Movember work, like I was saying, and other stuff as well. So there we go. That's the plan. Any plans for a 4K UI? That also got addressed in our chat with Sev, so I'm going to refer you to that. It's something we would love to do, but I don't have any really new news for you here today. Sorry. No more long hair. So that's interesting that you bring that up. So I have oft said I've had this hair since, let's say about November of 2016, and I've said that I wasn't going to cut it for quite some time, and I'm now in a position of deciding whether or not I want to cut it here, maybe in the near future. I don't know, maybe sometime in January or something, right? And so I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll have to find out what I'm going to do there. I haven't actually given it much thought because, at least as long as I've been thinking about it, I was pretty much just letting it grow, right? So, but I guess I'm at that point, aren't I? Probably gonna keep long hair, but it might be kind of good to cut some of it off anyway. Cut at least some of it off. I don't know. Mullets are back in? Yeah, totally. Oh, that's a great idea. Am I a fan of any plugins? I have to admit, I have to admit, I just bit off way more than I can chew. Oh, crap. Can I get any of them to back off? I don't think so. I am not going to be able to deal with chat here for a second. Give me a second. Oh my god, I survived! Whew. So, back to the plugin question. I haven't really used any plugins. I typically don't use them on any of my accounts here because I kind of need to have as default a UI and gameplay experience as is likely to happen or be available, because I'm often, even on my play accounts, going in to check various things and see what's kind of working and what's not working and what have you. So it's really just a matter of generally not wanting to use plugins for that reason. There's also some kind of minor, only because they're followed, security reasons why someone like myself would not typically want to use a lot of plugins that are available or made available to the community. And I don't need to go more into that. I assume everyone could figure that one out. So, but so no, I don't really have any favorite plugins other than the fact that there's a lot of amazing ones. Some of the music ones are amazing. Some of the hotkey ones are amazing. Some of the accessibility ones are amazing. I mean, there's just a ton of great plugins. So, I would not want to throw any shade that way or anything like that, because it is really, really cool stuff. But I personally, no, do not use plugins. So. I am attempting to face you, target. For these creatures that are currently trying to destroy my posterior are causing me grief in a way that I am hopeful to be able to survive. And my belief is if I destroy this, they will exunt the scene, which would be kind of nice. They've also taken away all my power, those jerks. Oh gosh, I'm not going to survive this! Oh, crap. No, no! I'm so dead. Oh my gosh. Crap. I didn't really have a way to heal, right? Everything was on cooldown. Alright. Will whether the contents of carryalls be made available to plugins via the API? I would think that a discussion about that would be a pretty significant discussion to make sure, again, that we're not exposing things that, you know, would be any sort of security problems on that through the API. I would also say that Sev did comment that at least in regard to Lua plugins, and I would probably extend that to plugins in general, we don't have any short-term plans to do any work related to the Lua API. So I'm sorry to say that in relation to your question about getting that tied in the near future to the API, the contents of carryalls, that's unlikely to happen. Locher is the greatest game of all time, except for the other game on which I worked for, which is also the greatest game of all time. That's true. That's true. There are many goats in the Cordovan household. Alright, there we go. Cool. I don't know what the greatest... I could never, even if I wasn't working for the company, I don't know the one greatest game of all time. I don't think that's actually a possibility. I don't think you can pick one. There's too many. It's too many. Alright, let's see here. Collect explosive barrels. I mean, I collect Atari games. I collect retro video games. I might be the only person whose new PlayStation 5 sits next to their Laserdisc player. So I'm not going to try to tell anyone what to collect or not collect. I would, however, caution those in the audience that if you're trying to choose something to get into collecting, perhaps explosive barrels is not the best choice for you. Oh yeah, I actually, you know, I don't want to pick, I can't pick favorite plugins, but what I should do at some point here is perhaps have a couple of plugin people on. We could just drag into a Discord call at some point. Some of the bigger plugin creators, like I'm thinking some of the bigger music ones, and someone who was talking about all the stable route one, which is pretty hot, right? And things like that. So, yeah, I would think that there would be a lot of opportunity for Court of the Rings to make sure that the plugin community gets a little bit of love. Now, of course, there are those plugins that are maybe a little more on the sketchier side that, you know, to acknowledge is to mean you got to do something about. But you know, in general, I think the vast majority of plugins are just totally cool, totally awesome, and serve a great purpose. I don't know what the last Laserdisc movie released was. I can tell you the last Laserdisc I watched, and that was Waterworld. Yes. I own Waterworld on Laserdisc. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Why? I have no answer for you. I have no answer. I have no answer as to why I would do such a thing. But nonetheless, I have a copy of Waterworld on Laserdisc in my house. So we've got just a couple minutes left of the show, and I think I've mentioned everything that's relevant, which is that, you know, you've got through the end of the month to do Harvest Math. We're working on a second PvMP Bull Roar. We did do a small patch this week that you can read more about. I've mentioned the Tier 5 start date for Amandul and the Stair Battle. So we're cool there, and those are really, and the chat with Sev ultimately has a ton of kind of at least status updates on some of your bigger questions. So get a chance if you get this weekend to give that a shot. Let me know if you like it. I think the general consensus is, hey, can you do that like every day? No, but ideally we could do that more frequently, and hopefully that is something that we would be able to do. Otherwise, I would just mention that I had someone just recently ask to be a part of Lotro's stream that I'll probably be bringing on to the channel here in a little bit. But I would mention that we do have some open slots. It's busy, especially during some of the most popular times for people to stream. some of those big primetime hours on that are already taken. But if that's not you, or if you think you could fit in something maybe a little different than that, then take a look at the calendar and let me know. Especially if you've got some basic competency and interest in live streaming. There's lots of opportunity for, say, getting more rating, getting more PVMP. People often say, can we have more of that? And that's usually just as much a reflection of who's streaming and who's less interested in streaming than anything else. But that would be cool too. So if someone wants to maybe do that, that would be all right. So a possibility. Saturday's currently empty, right? So I know that we do have some opportunity out there for people who might be over the holidays, whatever, saying, maybe I should give it a shot. I don't want a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing on Lotro Stream. However, in my experience, if you've got the ability to get a show actually live on the air, then you're probably just fine. And we would love to most likely have you here. Provided, of course, I don't know, you're not a devout nudist who loves to swear. I guess we don't want you if that's you. Saturday is not empty. Okay. Yep. Okay, most of Saturday is empty. Yes. Any word on Legendary servers getting level 100? We did talk about that as well. I don't want to... provide any more detail than that at the moment, because I don't know exactly what date it's going to fall. But it is something that we are actively discussing, and we expect to have news on hopefully here in the pretty near future. All right. ETA and Runekeeper buff. I got nothing for you there either this week. Sorry. Stock up on a few more missions. Oh no, these are all travel. Anyway, whatever. Good enough for today. We're at 1 o'clock here, so I'm gonna take off in just a smidge. We have got Grifflet helping out with the Tolkien Professor, who, oh, by the way, I saw the Tolkien Professor did a Wired video, a video for Wired.com, the big tech magazine Wired, called Tolkien, what is it? Instead of Tech Talk, it's Tolkien Talk or something like that. Instead of Tech Support, it's Tolkien Support. And he did a really great job in like a 15-minute video of just going through a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings lore. And the response to the video was fantastic, and it was great stuff. So, hey, check that out. But also, stay tuned, because Tolkien Professor's next, and his show's way better than mine. You can also find everyone else who's better than me on twitch.tv/LotraStream. I will see you next Friday, if not before, with some kind of Movember thing. So, we'll see if I do some kind of spontaneous stream in the near future. But at the very least, I'll see you next Friday. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you have a great time in Lotro, and I will talk to you again soon. Have fun.